Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
I would like to invite you now to stand in body or spirit and sing hymn number 1013, Open My Heart, which will be on the screens momentarily. My name is Petra, and I serve this congregation today as worship associate. I'm not much into labels, so call me whatever you want, as long as it's in time for dinner. We are most fortunate to have with us today Andy Quinn from the Interfaith Coalition of Polk County, and most importantly, the Lakeland Insight Meditation Group, which meets every Wednesday evening at 6:30 right in our very own social hall. Welcome, Andy, and welcome everyone. We are so grateful to have you join us this morning. All right, Andy, can you tell us a little bit about what you're going to do today?
Good morning. I am so grateful, ecstatic to be with you today. I understand that we've been talking about reparations. This is important to me. And so for me, being white, male, privileged, my reparations have to do with joining groups that have the same agenda and also connecting with heart, not only to folks that are, I don't even like the word different, but folks that society perceives as different, let's put it that way. And then not only that, what can I do to mend my heart towards the oppressor? Because for me, there can be a significant amount of hate towards the oppressor. This is not healthy. This is not connective. This is suffering, so that's where I want to go.
Very good, thank you. That sounds like something we all need to hear, and I'm sure that it will be presented in a way that we want to hear it as well. All right, our opening words today are Amid All the Noise in Our Lives by Tim Haley. Amid all the noise in our lives, we take this moment to sit in silence, to give thanks for another day, to give thanks for all those in our lives who have brought us warmth and love, to give thanks for the gift of life. We know we are on our pilgrimage here, but for a moment in time. Let us open ourselves here, now, to the process of becoming more whole, of living more fully, of giving and forgiving more freely, of understanding more completely the meaning of our lives here on this earth. In order to build this community, we need love plus connection, and that will lead to spiritual and ethical transformation. This is your community, and so we ask that you please be an active part in it by joining us in the following activities and events. I believe there's no program Wednesday due to Thanksgiving. That's correct. I want to say thank you to everyone who contributed in some way to the pasta with Perry last night. $239 was raised for UUCL, and additionally, Floyd Love is rounding that up to $250 as a thank you to UUCL. So yay for that. November 30th, there will be a paint gem party from 1 to 3 here in the sanctuary. The cost is now $20 because you missed the cheap part before. December 1st at 6 p.m. is the Interfaith Coalition's Thanksgiving worship service. Please come out to the Christ the King Church for what is sure to be a meaningful time together with people of other faiths and like minds. Thank you to Melissa and Jerry, who are not in the sanctuary today, because they have all the children. They take care of our children's each week. If you can volunteer to help them in the classroom, behind the scenes, or as a religious exploration committee member, please let Melissa know. It's very important to have plenty of volunteers for our RE program. Also, the UUCL annual service auction is coming up on December 15th. So please check the newsletter for the link to list your auction items. Experiences like dinners or day trips are great ideas or classes to teach a skill, but we also accept some goods worth more than $25 for the auction. Ken Schmidt and Dorothy Lemmy are coordinating the donations, and they will just contact them and they will help you get it all in there. Please check the back of your order of service and our newsletter. You didn't get an order of service, so that was not smart. Our newsletter, which is published on Mondays, for more information on the service auction and other events. Christmas is coming, you know, so there is no telling what you'll find in there. Our chalice lighting today is entitled Love Remains the Center by Eric Hepburn. We light this flame to remind us love is the center. As we grow and connect, mature and deepen, love remains the center. When the light of truth burns all else away, love remains. Helen, would you please do us the honor of lighting our chalice today? Now, if we would once again stand in body or spirit and sing hymn number 123, Spirit of Love. Now like to light the healing candle. instill in us the stimulus and momentum to join in unity and repair any brokenness we encounter. Love is all we need, and it awaits our asking. Rarely, if ever, are any of us healed in isolation. Healing is an act of communion. Bell hooks. Our ritual of sharing joys, concerns, and sorrows embodies the belief that there is power in being together. This is a ritual that supports our healing and sustains us with love. In our joys and sorrow book, you're able to write down anything that you would like to share with the rest of the congregation. So let's see what we have for today. All right, proud. I wrote a perfect, today is the 24th. Had a wonderful time in Orlando with family and enjoyed yoga at Bach Tower. Beautiful gardens. That was from Crystal. Another joy. Thank you, Floyd Love, for a wonderful evening. I enjoyed your solos. That is from Dorothy. Heather has both a joy and a sorrow she asked that I share with you today. She wants you to know that she is healing very well from her surgery. On the flip side, her brother passed away, so she will be in Houston for a week or two. So you're kind of stuck with me. But not totally. Just like today, we have Andy with us. You are invited now to come forward for our ritual of joys and sorrows. You may take whichever stone or stones feels right to you. Drop it in the water, in the bowl, connecting to others, feeling the power of being together in this community. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you to our musicians. That was lovely. We gather here, tucked back in this friendly neighborhood between the beautiful tall pines. We are a community of people who have arrived from many different paths, yet we seek a common goal to bring more love to a hurting but beautiful world. As Unitarian Universalists, we aspire to reach this goal through our shared values, one of which is the value of interdependence, which calls us to honor the interdependent web of all existence and to covenant to cherish Earth and all beings by creating and nurturing relationships of care and respect. Our shared value of interdependence asks us to do this with humility and reverence, by acknowledging our place in the great web of life and working to repair harm and damaged relationships. This we can only do together, and your monetary gifts are essential to supporting our endeavor to repair and heal. So our ushers will now pass the plate for us, please. And now, to prepare for our talk from Andy, let us all please rise once again in body or spirit and sing This Little Light of Mine, hymn number 118 in your gray hymnal. You will have to look in the book because the words will not be up there. Of repair, probably some meditation and some other wonderful words.
Yes, absolutely ecstatic. This is this beauty in our world, outside and with each other. It's really important to notice the beauty in this world as we walk through our Sunday and our shared time together. ask yourself, what are you here for? What is your motivation to be here? How did you come to this service today? How come you decided to get out of your comfy bread, comfy bread and abandon your coffee, right? And come to the service, right? How come you did that? I think it's very important to recognize that what we have here together is incredibly unique and also transformative. This congregation, we're here to celebrate differences, but I think we're also here to dismantle the forces of oppression. Yet, the path that perhaps the congregation here recognizes is that we do this through our shared suffering. And we also do this through our shared humanity. We're committed to lifting of those who are the oppressed, the needy, the disabled, the ones who allegedly present as different. Yet we judge and we condemn the oppressors. Let us not judge the mind that becomes hateful. Let's just notice the hate, all right? Let's take a moment to notice the hate and recognize this is not our essence. This is not who we are. Our true nature is to love and be compassionate. Everybody in here has an infinite amount of love and compassion. The young men of the Student Nonviolent Coalition Committee, led by our hero, John Lewis. John Lewis himself was beat repeatedly, allegedly hundreds of times, and jailed about the same amount of time. But the young people of that movement consistently, at least Mr. Lewis did, Congressman Lewis did, lived in love, lived in compassion. That was the dictate after being beat so many times. So I have asked Judy if she would be willing to read a statement, if you want, whatever's comfortable for you. Yeah, it works.
Okay. By Mahatma Gandhi. Nonviolence is not a garment to be put on and off at will. Its seat is in the heart, and it must be an inseparable part of our being. If love or nonviolence is not the law of our being, the whole of my argument falls to pieces. Belief in nonviolence is based on the assumption that human nature in its essence is one, and therefore unfailingly responds to the advances of love. If one does not practice nonviolence in one's personal relations with others and hopes to use it in bigger affairs, one is vastly mistaken.
Thanks, Judy. Thank you. Yeah, we think that in the midst of these turbulent times, we are so different. And these differences cause a sense of separation from the oppressor. This sense of separation is an illusion. It's an illusion. We can witness our oppressors falling prey to the toxicity of power and greed. And all of us here know that this is what we call acting out, or in the words of the meditation teacher, Tara Brach, this is called false refuge. Yet, how do we act out? Do we become angry? Do we become lustful? Do we have our own sense of greed? And in our sense of separation, can we only see that which is being judged? Are we really that much better when we go toxic? However, when we get tight with our anger and our judgment, we only see a very small piece of what we are witnessing. I was at Black and Brew last Wednesday. I have the privilege of walking from my office and getting a cup of coffee and studying something. It's like heaven if you haven't been downtown, right? And so my computer is like on the patio out front, you know? And so like I leave it there with my phone and my book that I'm studying out of, and I go inside and get my coffee, and then I go to the restroom. And on the way to the restroom, there's a young black man. We've all had these experiences, right? And he has dreads down to here. And my reaction is, I better go get my computer. That is actually an opportunity. We look at it, we could go, oh my God, what a racist thing to do, right? Right? Yes, we could do that. And it is racist, there's no doubt about it. But it's actually a window of opportunity to see the depths of racism. I've been working on this stuff for a long, long time. Done lots of counseling around it. Okay? Like, have exposed myself like this many times, okay? But the depths of racism and sexism and ageism go very deep. We just have to acknowledge that suffering and not identify with it. It is not who I am as a person. That racism is not who I am. I could say it, I could judge myself. If I judge myself, I made everything worse. Everything gets worse. It's the same thing. Of judging others, I found this out early in my own recovery, that really what it came down to with my judgment was judging self. They are intimately connected, those two. They run together. So the Buddha says, looking after oneself, one looks after others. And looking after others, one looks after oneself. How does one look after others whilst looking after oneself? By practicing mindfulness, developing it and making it grow. How does one look after oneself after looking after others? By practicing non-harm, friendliness, and care. Very simple. I was in Black and Brew. Toxicity came up in the body, in the mind. There it is, right? Be mindful of it, and then be self-compassionate. That's my own suffering. Then, when there's self-compassion towards self, there's self-compassion, there's much more space to be compassionate to whoever was in Black and Brew. That's the path. The path is to look at this stuff inside. That's my path. So, my hope for us is that we recognize, we also understand how we also oppress. I have done activism for decades, like a bunch of people in here have, you know? And one of the lessons I learned, I was looking at this little magazine called The Daily Planet. It came out of the Bay Area, and it was you know, an activist rag, you know, for Sierra Club. I've been a member of Sierra Club for decades, right? Still am, okay? And they asked a couple of the old timers, they were retiring, a married couple, by the way, asked them like how did you make it? You know, how did you survive these years of activism in California, right? And they said, we learned to understand and accept the other view. One of my best friends, he went with a very amazing meditation teacher called Rodney Smith. Rodney Smith worked for hospice for decades. And my friend can get really preoccupied with, you know, certain politicians that we're familiar with. I don't want to do politics, but we get the drift, right? And the teacher said, until you can hold both views in your heart, you're not free. It's true. I mean, we have to learn how to understand things that cause us that. It's critical. I'm not there. I have anger today, hurt today. It's softening, 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 opening, opening, opening. But I have to learn how to understand that all of us, every human being has emotions and thoughts and views and beliefs and opinions and wishes and regrets. We experience the whole range. All of it, we do. So the minute I think I'm different, I create that sense of separation. This is my suffering. And it's human, but it's human. This is what we do. We do this thing because we feel like we're under threat or we are under threat. This is what we do. So if you'd like to participate, I'm going to do a short guided meditation on compassion. And this style of meditation is called Tonglen. It is a Tibetan compassion meditation. It is one of the very many ways to do compassion meditation in Buddhist psychology. A lot of us are more comfortable with saying that Buddhism is a psychology, right? So I'm just going to describe it to you, right? And then I'll be guiding it for a few minutes. Probably only about, right now it's 20 till maybe about 5 minutes of this, okay? We'll do this. But basically what I'm going to ask you to do, for us in the meditation community, the most important instruction or attitude is to have one of being relaxed. Because when we're relaxed, we're much able to witness the turbulence in the mind or where suffering is, essentially. Dissatisfaction of the mind. The second important attitude is kindness. So whatever comes up in your experience, whether it's suffering or hate or grief, how can I be kind to that formation or even to myself in the midst of that? So those two instructions are really important. And then beyond that, what I'm going to ask you to do is just to consider a place in your own life where there may be suffering, which a simple definition of that is dissatisfaction, some sense of dissatisfaction happening. Maybe you're dissatisfied with the talk. but anyway, some sense of dissatisfaction, right? And then when you breathe in, see if you can recognize in your body where that dissatisfaction is coming up, and then kind of gently touch it with the breath. See if you can just touch it with the breathing, right? Just touch it gently. And then on the out breath, you breathe out the stress, breathe out the suffering. Now, this may be difficult if you've never done anything, but you can visualize this. You can visualize the breath touching the place in the body where there is suffering happening, and then you can visualize the suffering being expelled from the body. Okay? And then, if we have time, I'll be looking at the clock. See if you know somebody that may be suffering in the same way that you are. And then when you breathe in, you imagine that their pain kind of like you're being touched by their suffering. You're being touched by their suffering. And on the out breath, you're expelling that suffering. That's what we'll do. Any questions on that? This is so much fun, right? I love this. I hope you're having a fun time today. Yeah, great. Yay. Somebody, who said that? Yeah. I get the sense you're easy to please. Okay, so if you'd like to find a meditative posture, you want to have yourself be relaxed, and alert. And if you want to gently close your eyes, we'll do this for about 5 minutes. And be gentle with yourself. Remember to relax. You know, if you have any tension in the body, you can just relax that part. And you can also breathe into that part of the body that seems to be tense, that appears to be tense. Just breathe into that. This amazing body. This body that does us so well. And of course it disappoints us too, no doubt about it, but the overall trajectory is a miracle to be in this body. And so then if you can just be with the breathing, and just be aware of breathing. This is the in-breath, this is the out-breath. We don't have to think about breathing. This body just breathes by itself. This body that sustains our life and expels toxins. Amazing body. And we're all breathing together. We're all sharing this atmosphere, sharing this space, all together. We're all in this together. So now let's practice this Tonglen, this Tibetan style of compassion meditation, and bringing to mind a situation, or even today, if there's some sense of dissatisfaction happening in your life, you know, bring that to mind. Allow your mind just to kind of like, allow this to percolate. Allow yourself to contemplate this suffering, dissatisfaction. And now see if you can identify where this suffering is manifesting in the body. Most consistently, it's going to be in the upper torso. For a lot of us, it will be in the gut. It will be in the gut. And see if you can't do that. And see if you can be mindful about it. Be mindful about the physicality, the sensations in the body. And don't judge the sensations. They're just sensations. Maybe it's heat or coolness or tension or throbbing or stretching or movement. Just see if you can be in touch with that and just be with that. Just be aware of it. And remember to be relaxed and remember to be kind throughout the meditation. Be relaxed and kind. If you're able to be relaxed and kind with yourself, this is a big thing about meditation, is to train the mind to consistently align itself with calmness and care. Calmness and care. So now see if you can use the breath to gently touch that place in the body where suffering may manifest. And then we're allowing the breath to touch us there. And then on the exhalation, the out breath, see if you can breathe out. Breathe out the stress. Breathe the stress out. Breathing in, touching the suffering, breathing out the stress. On the out breath, with breathing out the stress, you may just also consider relaxing the whole body. The whole body. then only if you want to, if you'd like to just pay attention to the breathing or just be relaxed and kind, or you'd like to kind of like breathe out your own suffering. But if you want to, see if you can't bring to mind a person that may be suffering in a similar way. Bring to mind a situation, a person may be suffering in a similar way, and then breathe in their suffering, allowing your suffering to touch in your body. Touch your gut, touch your chest. Just do that. And then breathe out the suffering, breathing out the suffering. And now returning to the breath, and we'll ring the bell in about 30 seconds. We'll ring the bell, just marking the end of this practice period. Great, yay, real good, yeah. So, I've asked Suzanne to help me with the story, and does anybody in here know the name Tim Mitchell? Tim Mitchell, do you know this name? Tim Mitchell is a member of our community, and he was instrumental in organizing and cleaning up Parker Street Ministries. Truly, him and his wife are heroes in this community. So, would you like to read this?
Just project, you'll be fine.
I'm sorry. We do live streams, so I can't hear you. Forgot about that.
If there's an incident that illustrates what Tim Mitchell has been doing for the past 10 years, it might be the time he converted a man who was robbing him at gunpoint. As Mitchell tells it, this was a serious bad guy who had come up from Miami and muscled his way into drug traffic in the tough Parker Street neighborhood. He had just come from a shootout and a robbery in which he pistol whipped a man when he walked up to Mitchell's, stuck a 9mm pistol in his stomach, and demanded money. For a moment, he says, I was terrified, but a peace came over me and I felt I should tell him who I was. I said, my name is Timothy Charles Mitchell and I am a representative of Jesus Christ in this neighborhood. And you're here because God sent you here. God wants you to know He loves you. The guy started crying and he dropped the gun. I picked him up that Sunday and took him to church. That was fun, to be standing in church next to a guy who was trying to kill me. Mitchell tells the story matter-of-factly and with a smile. As it turned out, the guy checked himself into rehab and eventually went back to Miami, where he had a family.
Everybody be safe.
Well, thank you very much. And at this point in time, Andy would like for us all to once again rise in body or spirit and sing hymn number 212, I believe, which you will also.
You're dancing Sarah's circle.
Yes, indeed.
212.
We are dancing Sarah's circle.
Number 212.
Yes, you'll have to look in your book if you don't know the words, because they're not gonna be on the screen. Let's just do three. Three's enough. The three that are with words there. We are dancing Sarah's circle. We are dancing Sarah's circle. We are dancing Sarah's circle. Sisters, brothers, all. We seek and find our history. Find our history. Here we seek and find our history. Sisters, brothers, all. We will all do our naming. We will all do our naming. We will all do our own naming. Sisters, brothers, all. Thank you, everyone. You know that, after we decided to sing that one, it came to me that these were songs sung by slaves. We will all do our own naming. They were usually named by their slave masters, and so, you know, that's very important. That was a big step for them. And we're looking at taking big steps now, but we are not alone in this. I know you probably already know that, but sometimes it's good to be reminded. We're not the only ones who seek the holy sparks, who yearn for more love, and who actively collect the light and organize for repair. There really are millions of others. We can organize with them and raise our voices to heal the world together. Organizing for repair right now requires that we don't take a soft position. That is why we also need our local community partners. The Interfaith Coalition of Polk County, Rose Dynasty Foundation, Red Tent Initiative, Planned Parenthood, and even Lakeland Insight Meditation Group. Together we hold more of those sparks of light. Together we create more love, and we are stronger. Our souls will not be broken, and love can never be defeated. I have some closing words here that were written by Kimberly DeBeau. I believe D-E-B-U-S, pronounce it how you feel right. Love just needs an invitation. I think we forget that in all of our talk about love. We forget that whether we are looking for more love, answering the call of love, giving songs of love, letting love guide us, or rejoicing in love, love doesn't barge in. We have to invite it in. So one last time, please rise in body or spirit and sing with me hymn number 1029. Those words should be on the screen, and it is entitled Love Knocks and Waits for Us to Hear.
This is the tune.
Love knocks and waits for us to hear, to open and invite. Love wants to quiet every fear and seeks to set things right. Love offers life in spite of those who threaten and condemn, embracing in And now, if you, Helen, will extinguish our chalice and everyone will join me in the words for extinguishing the chalice. We extinguish this chalice, but not the light of truth, the warmth of love, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts and out into the world. So let's all go now out into the world, make those reparations, and please do come the next 2 Sundays.